Hello and welcome to Gold and Silver Assets. It's Sunday the 22nd of September 2019. And today we're going to have a look at what the silver price is up to. So we'll start with the US dollar silver price on the monthly scale. And here I've drawn this trend line that goes all the way back to 2004. And you can see that that trend line's been tested a few times, most recently in May of this year. We've also got this downward sloping trend line, which has formed the upper part of a triangle in which the price has been moving between. And price broke out of that triangle over here. We've also got this red line here, which has been a level of both support and resistance at different times. And that's been the case even back between 2006 and 2010. Now, I think this trend line is going to be pretty strong. It's going to be pretty hard to break that. One of the things that always surprises me is why the price of silver is actually as low as it is. If you think about it, if we look at the longer term price of silver, you can see that right now the price is the same as it was back in 1982. And it's even worse if we adjust for inflation. So the price now is actually the same as it was in 1975, which is crazy. I can't think of many things at all actually where the price now is the same or lower than it was in 1975. If you can think of anything, write it in the comments below. But also, it's crazy when you think about the amount of work that's involved in producing a silver coin. You know, you've got all the mining, the refining and the minting that goes into it, and yet you can hold a 1 ounce coin for less than $20 US. I've actually put a link in the description below to a video that actually shows the mining and refining process very nicely, and it will make you realise just how crazy this silver price really is. So let's go back to the silver price, and if we look on the weekly scale, this is this downtrend line that I discussed earlier on, and here is the breakout. Now here we can see a red candle with a very long wick, and this is followed by a second red candle, and on the RSI these red candles coincided with an overbought signal, and so together these are suggesting that we're going to see a short-term trend change with a correction, which you'd expect because price has gone up very nicely over a short period of time, and so it does need a break in the price movement. If we look more closely on the daily scale, this is a steeper trend line that was broken recently, and price has then been consolidating to form what looks like a symmetrical triangle. Now we don't know which direction this is going to break out. Most likely it's going to break out in the downwards direction, as this is usually represents the continuation of this downtrend. If it does break outwards, I suspect it's going to be short-lived, and price will pretty quickly turn around back into the downwards direction. And how low can we go? Well, we can see that we've got some support here at the $17 and the $16.5 region. If it goes lower than that, we'll be looking at the 15.5 region, which is that very strong area of support and resistance that we've been seeing over many years. This $14.5 region is that multi-year trend line that we talked about earlier, and I think if price goes below that, I'm going to completely change my bullish outlook, and we're looking at some major drops in prices if we go below that level. I very much doubt it's going to do that though. I think it's a very low probability. So basically, if you're looking for a buying opportunity, then we'd be looking at prices anywhere from 15.5 to 16.5 region, I suspect. And in other news, you may have heard that recently they had a massive gold heist in the UK. So this was a sculpture by an artist who entitled the piece America. It's basically a toilet that's made out of 103 kilograms of 18-karat gold. Now, this is actually a fully functioning toilet, and it was installed in Blenheim Palace as an exhibit, and people were actually allowed to use this. So there were queues, I'm told, that were an hour long to use the facilities, and people were given a 3-minute time limit to use it, and of course there were guards waiting outside. That got me thinking about the value of this piece. So if we look at the gold content as if it was, say, melted down and sold, then we'll be looking at $4.1 million in value. But interestingly, if we think about how much it would be if it was silver, it's actually only $65,000. So again, that's just because of the huge difference in value. I think silver is very undervalued at the moment. And if you look at that, I don't think there'll be many criminals who would go to the trouble of stealing a solid silver toilet. Now, I don't know who these criminals were, but one thing we can say is that they were flush. Okay, that's all from me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.